Hello and welcome back. I am here with my good friend Tracy.
I'm here with my delightful friend Amber.
And we are the Road to Tarvalin. Today, talking about Rings of Power, episode 7. There's only one left. We are going to jump right into it. Starting out the episode, we have Galadriel in the rubble.
In flames.
In flames.
You know what I really liked about this scene? It made me think of Pompeii. Like all of the documentaries that I've watched of like how a volcano erupts and goes through like habitat and everything around it. And I thought that they did a really good job with it. Even with the way that like Galadriel is pulling herself out of the ashes kind of it felt authentic. I thought that they did a really good job with that.
I thought it was authentic, but I feel like everyone should have been completely burnt up in that explosion. Like, I was confused how anyone at all survived.
Right.
Even the horses are like, oh, we're cool. No and burning horses.
Only partially
Everyone
burnt.
has hair.
Right. Like, that was where I was like, now, wait a minute. Like, that horse comes running through and it's, like, strategically aflame. What? How did you just get the back of you on fire, poor horse? You know, like,
aww.
Poor horse. Felt worse for the horse than I did for most of the other characters that are quote unquote dead throughout the entire episode. Just saying.
Yeah.
So
Theo is okay. Way to go, Theo.
Hooray,
survivor.
Theo, survivor.
Isildur saves Queen Muriel, but then a burning building collapses on top of him. We have not seen his dead body. Therefore, in my opinion, he is alive.
He can't be dead, right?
I have a theory.
Okay, please. Is it one that you want to share? Because I would love to.
Sure. Isildur is going to be saved or found by a horse ex machina named Berek because they let the horse free.
Yep.
And good old Berek, you know how last episode we were like, why all the attention to this horse?
Mm-hmm.
Don't care.
Right.
But they had to do that. That way we know that the horse rider and the horse have a special bond or whatever, and now Berek's gonna come save the day. Do.
You know, I actually did write that down in my notes where I was like, well, of course they have to let Berek go. Like, Isildur is going to need a horse to ride when he rises from the dead later on. So, you know.
Oh, I thought Berek was actually going to find him and, like, can you imagine
Berek,
like, pulling him out of
With the way that this has been going, yes, I absolutely can. Somehow Berek is fireproof and has an unlimited strength amount and is just like, Isildur, my guy, can I have a full apple this time, though?
Yeah, right. Do I deserve a full apple now? Do I get it? Please.
Okay, yeah. So we have, like, everybody in the rubble. Like, we get through all of that part. Is there anything? Oh, one of their friends does die. Is this, like, our first kind of sort of
death?
Yeah, like, real death. You know, like open-eyed staring death at the camera.
I would say so. Except for like the red shirts that die, you know, in the actual battle because
they don't count.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm being sassy. But I think this is their buddy, right? Like this is their buddy that they had been traveling with who was like
one of them.
Yeah, engaged to be married or something from one of the earlier episodes. Like I think this is one of their like 3
I thought it was the guy that said like he's done fighting, like he saw enough action.
I think that's the same guy.
No happy endings when you say like you're gonna ride off into the sunset.
You've seen you've seen enough battle and violence. You might as well go start building your own coffin after you've said that.
So we move to some happy singing Harfoots and they're like, ooh, they've already started the fires. Fake out.
Nope. Kind of, but
all of their carts have been burned strategically by the volcano.
Yeah. All of the provisions they were expecting here has been destroyed because of the volcano as well. So they are at another spot on their road trip where they're supposed to be resupplying, and once again, no
Disaster.
food. Yeah, and so, God, you know what? I'm sorry.
How did the Harfoots not see a volcano blast?
Right? How?
I don't know. Nori, what were you doing?
There had to have been enough debris blown into the sky that at the very minimum they would have seen something.
The smoke? The smoke from the burning carts?
Something. Nope.
I don't
No.
I don't know.
And then like Sarduk, is that the lead, or Sadek?
Sadek,
Yeah, he's like, my great grandmother or whatever was like, this stuff happens when evil's about to rise again. I'm like, really? Really? That's when this happens? It's not just a natural occurrence. Like, oh shit.
The hobbits don't know about tectonic plates, Tracy. Give them a break.
But they also apparently don't know how to be decent to other people, even though that's their like core principle. Sorry, I'm really ranty over this episode. I've been holding back for 2 days, trying to like wanting to talk about this because there are just so many spots where I'm like, what? So poor stranger dude. They're like, oh, we hate him, he's awful. Oh, he's great, he does everything. Oh, he's terrible, why is he with us? And now they're like faced with this huge potential tragedy with no food, and the first thing they
stranger
do,
guy,
yes,
can you go ahead and
fix that for us,
these trees for us, please?
Yeah, we've barely treated you decently, but do you think you could do this for us? And he does it. He steps up and he does it, and accidentally shakes loose a limb on the tree, which is close to one of the stupid Harfoots standing close to a shaking tree, and they all get mad at him. They get mad at the stranger. They're like, oh my God, you made the tree shake and nothing else happened, so that was obviously evil. Get the fuck out. Did you want to know how I really felt about that scene?
Someone from OSHA needs to have a stern talking to with these Harfoots, because, like, I don't know, wear a hard hat or something.
Their safety standards are
goes
stupid.
Against company policy.
Why?
This is why they have to say all those names of all the people who get injured or die on the travels, because they're just like, oh, danger. Like, I'll just venomous steak, I'll poke it with a stick.
I'll poke
maybe.
at that.
I don't know.
Why not? Yeah.
Why not?
It's just so contradictory to so many of the other things that the Harfoots keep saying that they are and that they do and that they believe in and whatnot. And like, Nori's always like, no, you're good, stranger. Like, there's that whole cute exchange between the two of them where she's like, you're good. And he's like, I'm good. And then like the first bad things that happen, she's like, oh my God, you're the worst. Why?
Did she didn't say that though. She wasn't mean to the stranger.
No, she didn't. But she definitely, and I mean, her reaction, they do. And her reaction, I think, was valid when she had it, like when he accidentally froze her arm and when he was working on his healing thing. Like, that was an accident. The thing is like, that's what they should have said each time was, you don't know what you're doing. And we're sorry that happened, but let's work out all of this together because there's obviously a beneficial relationship for all of us here.
Yeah.
Enough about the stranger.
Agreed.
At that point.
Enough about the stranger. So we move to Elrond asking King Durin for the mithril. And Elrond uses all the right words, but
he sure does.
Like Prince Durin even looks super optimistic, but nope. King Durin, unimpressed.
Not doing it. Mm-mm.
Yeah. He's afraid of a rock fall, which, I mean, it's all right. It's understandable.
Yeah. I mean, we saw one in the series, like how bad they can be. So if
now
it's
the dwarves have
avoid,
the dwarves have a great relationship with OSHA. The hobbits, not so much.
Not so much. This is a poke at this because I had to ask you this. The Dwarf King says no to helping the elves. And
you said the Dork King. You rang?
Your Majesty. So anyway, Durin uses a drowning metaphor when he's talking about saving Elrond. He's like, my friend is drowning and boat stuff. And I'm like, you're a dwarf. Why are you
What do you
talking
know
about
about boats?
Right. Like, I was
Interesting.
thinking Wheel of Time and how, like, certain regions have and cultures have things that are connected to their language and the way that they express distress. And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
why would you go for drowning? Why wouldn't you say, my friend's stuck at the bottom of a canyon without a rope or water and I can't do anything to help him?
This is true. This is true. And this is in direct contrast to later on in the episode when Disa is pissed.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I do detest it when you heap slag on my
Yes!
mother.
Yes!
Like,
Yes!
that, great. I actually wrote that line down because I was like, okay, like we've got a,
Yep.
like, mining geological term being thrown in here. I'm
As an
for it.
insult?
I like it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
And I wrote that down for the same, like, because I liked it, but also because it was like, no, you do have that language in your dwarven culture. So why did you go
Right.
for drowning?
Maybe, yeah.
Stupid little
If
things,
anyone knows,
apparently.
are there some like seafaring dwarves we don't know about?
Oh, I hope so. I
Or
hope
maybe
so.
do their minds flood? Maybe like there were dwarves that know about
Oh,
flooding.
interesting. Okay. I can see that. It just seemed really off culture. It just
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
feel fluid. It interrupted the scene for me and I was sad because I thought the scene was really good. Like Durin is distressed. He's worried about his friend and he means it. He's like, "Oh, in my heart." And he's like, "But drowning." And I'm like, gone. My emotional level just
God.
depletes immediately. Yeah. But then Durin goes and talks to his wife about it, and that was fun. Because, like, Disa's pissed. Oh my God.
Oh
What a
yeah,
great way
that's
to
what I
show a
wrote.
pissed
Number
off
4,
woman.
Disa is pissed. So here's what I noticed in this episode. Everything was about fire for the most part. We have the opening where it's all the destruction of fire,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Harfoots, the
Mm-hmm.
trees, and now Disa is even doing some light
Blacksmithing?
forge work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like fire again, and it happens multiple times, and then at the
Mm-hmm.
very end we get the Balrog. That's how you say it. We get this
Mm-hmm.
fire monster. So I'm like, okay, I'm seeing a theme this
Mm-hmm.
episode. Fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
I like that.
And the cultists set things on fire later on.
Lots of fires.
Horse on fire.
Name of the episode. But then, like, Elrond and Durin say their goodbye, and it
Yeah.
is sad and sweet. And it's one of the few places where I actually did feel emotionally connected to the scene. I like this friendship a lot.
Yeah.
What was up with the mithril and the leaf on the table and that super long, like, panning in to look at it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What was that?
So that's the linden leaf from the special elven tree.
Uh
And then we've
huh.
seen all those images of the tree dying.
Right.
But the elves had hypothesized that the mithril is going to save the tree or
Mm
bring
hmm.
back light. I don't know exactly
Mm hmm.
because I'm still confused about it. But
Same.
now we have like direct evidence that the mithril really is having some like regenerative properties going on.
Oh, did it do something
So,
to the leaf?
yeah, the leaf went from dried up to like fresh looking.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't catch that. I was so confused. I was like,
You're like, why
why?
do I care about this leaf?
This is such a long pan over scene to this piece of rock and a leaf. And then Disa and Dirt are staring at it. And I'm like, I don't get it. Thank you. That makes so
Yeah,
much,
no
that
problem.
actually helps so much for like the whole rest of why they keep doing what they're doing. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, there's
So,
obviously something.
yeah. So before that happens, I did really like
Mm-hmm.
the acting from our Elrond actor. And he's like, yeah, I gotta go inform the elves that we're all about to
We're all about to
die.
die.
So later.
Thanks for hanging out, guys. And Durin's like,
Yeah.
are you sure I can't convince you to stay for supper? And he's like, I'm too depressed to eat. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Gotta go.
Ah!
So Theo and Galadriel are in hiding mode. Theo's like, I want revenge, but
Mm-hmm.
Galadriel's kind of showing the softer side and she's saying it's
Appreciated.
her fault, and Theo's like, no, it's my fault. And, we have a little back and forth. I didn't really have a lot of notes on that because I was
No.
just kind of like, move it along,
Y-
move it along.
yes, thank you. I'm good with that.
Okay, we've got our refugees from the Southlands and the Númenórean soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Elendil sees Berek the horse, dun, dun, dun. But sadly, Isildur is missing in action. Oh, but the
Sad
queen is
face.
alive.
Yay!
Yay! So that's what I took from that.
That's about all of it. I had
Yeah.
I had no emotional connection to that scene whatsoever.
Well, when I immediately saw the horse like trotting up, I was like, "Oh God, Berek's back."
Couldn't Berek have like fallen underneath like a burning stable or something? I don't know. Berek, your storyline is done. Apparently it's not though. Apparently it's not. But
No,
again,
he's a survivor
it's
horse.
like you had said, like it's kind of the indication that if Berek's still kicking, Isildur
Yeah,
has a
yeah,
chance, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're like, this horse won't listen to anyone, and it's
Me,
like,
me, me,
it's because he feels his rider in pain, and he needs to go rescue him.
me. You
He's
know,
like Lassie, but the horse.
yes! Yes. I
What's
was.
that, Berek? Did
Isildur
Isildur fall in a well again?
I like that you included again. That makes it even better. I feel as though there were a lot of attempts in this episode to create emotion. Like to
Did you say
feel
motion or emotion?
emotion.
Okay.
Yeah. But it just kept kind of like falling flat for me. Like I felt like I should have felt something when Elendil finds out that his son is missing in action / dead. And instead I was
I
like,
felt
he's not.
I felt the same way, but I don't have much of a connection to Isildur
Mm-hmm.
yet. Like to me, he's just that kid that throws apples in the ocean.
Right,
So I'm
yeah.
like, it's all right, I guess.
I recently watched like the opening of the movies, and it's like it has like Isildur fighting Sauron, and he has one of the kings of men, and I feel as
Okay.
rings, one of the rings of that were given to the men or
I'm the
something.
king of men.
I'm the king. You know what? It would not surprise me
I'm
if
the king
Isildur
of
just
dorks.
like stood up, self-proclaimed, "I am the thing." But I feel as though like some of the things I was reading, just kind of scrolling through my news feed in regards to Rings of Power, like people were really like, how do you expect Lord of the Rings fans, like original Tolkien fans, to get upset when they know Isildur is alive, like that he's a part of the story later on? And I was like,
Well, I mean, Wheel of Time does the exact same thing
right,
over and over.
I agree,
Like we
but I
know
feel like
Lan
they
doesn't
could have,
die.
right, and
We
I
know
just
none
feel
of
like
the
they could have done it
Emmons are
better.
gonna die. We know none of
That's
the Emmon
true.
Fielders are gonna die, but Moraine is like, if anyone goes to the Eye of the World who is not the Dragon Reborn, you'll all
You will
die. And us readers are
die.
like,
No, they won't.
okay.
All right, Maureen. Yeah, I was ugh. There were just things where I was like, okay. Um.
So
Oh,
back to Theo. Oh, go
and
ahead. Sorry.
no, that's actually what I was gonna say. Is back to Theo and Galadriel.
She gives him a sword. Her sword,
Yep,
in fact.
I
I
wrote
guess
down
he's
next to it. Have a sword, Theo.
Yeah, I almost wonder if like he's going to become someone important. Like maybe we get a time jump and Theo is either a really bad guy or a really
Ooh.
good guy.
You know what? I like the fact that they have not taken him in an almost predictable dark path. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? There were some moments early on where I was like, "Uh-oh, that Theo kid, he's going to be trouble." And now like
Yeah.
even his time with Galadriel, where he's like, "Have you killed many orcs?" And she's like, "Yeah, a shit ton." And he's like, "That's good." And she's like, "I wouldn't use that." And she's like, "You can't let that darkness live around
Mm-hmm.
things that actually are intended to be good." And so, like, he's getting these little mentoring moments that are kind of leaning towards developing a quote unquote good guy persona, if you will. And I like it because it feels as though there's lots of room for growth and sliding back, because we
Yeah.
know he's not necessarily like, he doesn't come out and like, do, 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 I'm a good guy. He's like, maybe I'm a little
Yeah.
iffy.
But he does have that rage inside of him too, where he's out
Exactly.
for
Yeah.
justice,
Mm-hmm.
and Galadriel's like be careful because once you hold that, you might not be able to let go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's see. Elendil has a moment with the Queen Regent, and we find out that she is blind. Her father's prophecy was correct, that nothing but darkness awaits her in the West.
Ooh.
Oof. I really liked her character this episode. I think this is the first time in the entire series where I really felt something for her. Like
Mm-hmm.
before, it kind of just felt like she
She
was
was
so
there.
wishy washy and
Mm-hmm.
like I just nothing. But now she's like resolute.
What is it that she says? Like, they don't know what they have unleashed or something like that.
Yeah, she's like, you know what? Numenor, we're coming back. Like
Mm-hmm.
this isn't over. So we've
Mm-mm.
got like some rage from her, and it's nice to see. It's nice to put an end to the will they or won't they.
Like, become allies.
Yeah, well, that was just driving me crazy in Numenor. It's like, we're gonna go fight. Maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see what Halbrand has to say. Will we? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. And now she's like, she, oh no. She's like, we're coming back. But now I have a feeling once she gets back to Numenor, everyone's gonna be pissed. So they won't be able to come back. Like,
Oh
maybe she'll get
yeah.
overthrown.
Oh yeah. What if what's his face? Farazan.
Pharazôn.
Yeah, has like decided to like just rule the roost while she's gone and doesn't want to relinquish power when she returns.
I predict that she's going to get back and he's going to be like, so many of our young men and women dead.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
can you justify going back and putting our
Hmm.
people in danger and then
Mm.
trying to do an overthrow?
Yeah, I can see that.
So we move back to the Harfoots.
Yep. Kicking out the stranger.
Yeah, Sadek gives him
Mm-hmm.
directions to his stars that he's looking
Mm-hmm.
for. Then we have Nori giving him an apple, and they reenact Michelangelo's creation of Adam painting.
What was
Yeah,
happening with that scene? That was the longest exchange of an apple. Why? Why did it take so long? We get it. You guys are sad. Move on. Take the apple. Keep walking.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Is there some type of theme hidden away in this, like, like
Mm,
the slight touching of the fingers when she gives him the apple? Like, I don't know. I don't
possibly.
know.
I.
Is this like the moment that starts the Harfoots as like hobbits? Is this the
Mm,
moment where they decide they are going to do something against the grain and put down roots somewhere instead of
mm,
actually like
constantly moving
traveling?
around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. It seemed like it wanted to get across a level of emotion, and it was just taking so long to get there. And I was like, we get it. This is not ideal. I don't want the stranger to leave. Nori doesn't really want the stranger to leave, but away he's going to go. And then they have that kind of evening scene where Nori is like, I'm just a Harfoot, nothing more. Just should never
See,
have
will
gone off
she or won't
trail.
she? Will she or won't she? It happens a lot. Is she or
Happens a
isn't
lot.
she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We move back to Galadriel and Theo. Apparently, Galadriel's husband is dead. I don't know why that matters, but okay. I guess we're supposed to feel sad for her.
Right, yeah.
But her brother also died, so
Yeah.
I don't know. He died in the war also, and the orcs almost discover them, but it was again kind of like, did I really think that they were going to get found?
No.
No. Mm-mm.
Nope.
We move back to the mines, and Durin is doing some mining with Elrond, and the rocks are rumbling, and they find the mother of all mithril veins.
Woo!
But King Durin does not care and throws Elrond out.
Yeah. He's like, don't care. Sees the elf, boot him out, away he goes.
I understand though, because as they were doing this mining, like things are rumbling again. So like it really must be dangerous.
Yeah.
So like, I get King Durin.
For sure.
I mean, I get it.
I do too. I just
But is it worth like the genocide of a whole other people?
Right.
Probably not. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure they could plan something out maybe instead of just being like, no.
Yeah. So after Elrond gets kicked out, then Durin and his dad have their little conversation, and the dad is like, when you were a baby, you were born and there was something ill formed inside you. Like, that's pretty much what he said. And I was like, oh, what a terrible thing to say. And then he kept going, and I was like, oh, okay. Slightly better. But I mean,
like he was a weak child.
The wording got me. But then, like, the story is really sweet and then really tender and blah, blah, blah.
And he's like, yeah, and I thought, but then, like, I had a dream or whatever that you would move mountains, and, like, I'm getting all hype, and I'm like, what a great little acting side moment with these two characters. I really, really like this actor that's playing King Durin and son Durin. Durin. And Disa. They're
good.
all so great and emotional.
Yes. And those are emotions I actually feel, especially Durin and Disa and Durin and Elrond. And really when they're all together too, they have like that really kind of cute, we make our own family vibe. And I love it.
Yeah, that's my favorite grouping, I think.
Yeah, I feel as though that's what I actually wrote down somewhere in my notes, was that like the Durin, Elrond, Disa group. It's my favorite.
And I really love this stranger too, and that's probably just because I feel sorry for him the most. Like,
yeah, I have a really tender spot for this poor outcast from the celestial realm. Yeah, like, I'm so sorry this happened. You can't even speak yet. Everything around you is new.
He just needs a map to find the parts to build a spaceship and go back.
And then you'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
Going back to Durin and his discussion with his dad, and the way that ends up, where like son Durin hops up and is like, you know what? You say you see all these great things for me, but at the same time, you're always holding me back. You can't let me be great and then always hold me back. And then he like yells at him and is like, you're making a mockery of the crown and blah, blah, blah. And so Durin grabs the torque that Durin wears around his neck and like pulls it down and throws it on the ground. And is this like a demotion? Is that what this is? Like, that's what I
took it as. Okay. Like, you will not be the king anymore.
Yeah. He's removing him from succession, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think when it goes back to Disa and Durin, she's like, I don't care. That doesn't matter. Like, there's nothing he can do. Like, unequivocally, you will be king. Like, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah, she's like, the other dwarven lords support you. The people support you. Your father he's done. He has no vision left. I love this conversation where she is just angry and like, don't you worry, babe. You're going to be king. And you know what? I am powerful and I'm going to be by your back. We're going to make this happen together.
Yeah.
Fucking love Disa.
We love Disa.
So good.
Team Disa.
All the way.
Team Disa and Durin. Squared.
That's adorable. D squared. Oh, so should we go back to the Harfoots and how they have like a shit ton of apples because the stranger helped them?
Yeah, the food is everywhere. Everyone's happy. But then the cultists find
Mm-hmm.
stranger tracks, maybe. I don't know. They're locating him somehow. They've got a
Mm-hmm.
stranger tracker.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah. And then
He's that
Nori
way.
pulls the classic, like, oh, he didn't go that way. He went that way.
Mm-hmm. You're going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, Nori.
Poor Nori. God.
Yeah.
And then they come back and they're like, oh, tiny, tiny creature. And they like loom over her, and then her dad comes out and just is like, don't you touch her. And
Yeah,
then
he
they
says
like
he's gonna brain him, and I like cheered. I thought that was such a great like threat from this little guy.
like,
I loved
mm.
it.
Her father is a really fun character.
Yeah,
Like there are
he
several
is.
points where I'm like, thank goodness for you. Thank goodness for you.
But again, like all the wagons get burnt again. So
Again.
like they had the frames up, I guess. Like they had
And
made
they had
headway and built so much in
and they
that
had
little
just
time.
harvested too.
Yeah,
They had
like
just
full.
harvested all of this food. There was an entire scene of them harvesting food that has now been set on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Fire. Again, you're right. So much fire.
Yes.
Yeah. You were not kidding.
So we moved back to the Southlander refugees. Berek is berserk. He's set free. Horse won't listen to anyone. Horse ex machina. Bronwyn, Arendir, Hallbrand are alive. Galadriel kneels to the queen,
Mm-hmm.
apologetically cries. Numenor will return for justice, and the elves will be ready.
Bum. Yeah, that's pretty much how that happens.
This was my favorite scene with Galadriel in
Really?
it. Yeah, with
Okay.
her in it,
Uh huh.
not like of the whole episode. But I think it was just, it was almost finally seeing her as like in this pitiful state, like she feels really bad about what happened.
Yeah.
She thinks all of this loss of life is on her.
Uh huh.
Kind of is.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was for a greater cause. Like they were going there to help these people.
Mm-hmm.
So shit happens,
Shit happens.
And I really liked the Queen Regent
Mm.
telling her, like, we don't kneel in Numenor. And Galadriel's just, like this tear on her ash covered face. And it
We're
was
not in
really,
Numenor.
yeah, it was really nice.
I
It was
did
really
actually
nice.
really like that. I'm glad that you brought that
Yeah.
up. I felt as though the queen definitely deserved a bit of homage in that moment. And that,
Right?
like, Galadriel kneeling to her, crying in front of her. And then later, when I think is it Hallbrand or Bronwyn, someone asks her, like, do you really think that they'll come back? And she's like, no, I'm certain of it. Certain.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the amount of fierceness, determination in the queen as she's saying goodbye to Galadriel is just like it gives all the hope that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
needed.
And
Yeah.
too, like, I really liked this Queen Regent Muriel. It almost sounds like she wants revenge, but I think like she's looking for justice because the whole blindfold Lady Justice
Ooh,
look
yes.
was like
Ooh, yes.
very, very strong.
You know what's funny is it was like tickling something in the back of my brain. I was like, this looks very
Right?
familiar to something. Good eye, Amber.
Well, we've got the creation of Adam and Eve with the apple
Apple.
transfer, and now we
Right.
have Lady Justice.
Lots of imagery.
Yeah, the Harfoots are rebuilding, and a handful of them are like, you know what? Screw this. We want to take action. We're gonna go warn the stranger. So finally, the Harfoots have decided to go against the stream, and they're gonna
They're
do
walking
something a
off
little bit
trail.
different. Yeah,
Walking
walking
off
off
trail.
trail.
There they
Good
go.
for them.
Do you know what? I'm stoked about this separation.
Me
Like,
too. Love it. So glad it's
yeah,
happening because
the actors that are playing the characters that are going, I like Nori. I love Poppy. The fact
yeah,
that Nori's mom jumped in and was like, I'm going with you.
yeah,
You are not leaving without me. Get it, mom. That excites me. And
Yeah,
then,
because she was like, he saved us from those wolves. Like,
right? And then Malva, I think is her name, Sadek's partner or like
yeah,
someone and
yeah.
she's like, "You know what? I was wrong. I was wrong. And we did the wrong thing and we need to make it right." And she's like, "You know, at Sadek, it really helped them if they had somebody who
Hmm.
could like follow trails and whatnot." And it's satisfying. This is a satisfying little scene. And I love that we're going to get a really trimmed down version of the Harfoots moving forward instead of having to constantly be laboring with this entire caravan of people constantly on the move.
Yeah, yeah. We get Queen Muriel and a few people back on the ship to Numenor. Galadriel will depart to inform the Elven King, but Halbrand needs elvish medicine, I
Right.
guess,
Yeah.
for reasons.
For reasons.
Now, I'm confused about this because, like, we see maybe this was just me, but the blood stain, like, on his shirt almost looked like the shape of the key.
Oh, I
Maybe
did
it was
not
just my
notice.
mind playing tricks on
I
me,
mean, maybe, maybe not. You're very observant when it comes to things like that.
but
So,
we didn't see any wound,
mm-hmm.
and he's riding okay.
Yeah.
So like I'm not sure if this is
Did they do the elvish medicine and then he's okay? Or were
no,
they
that's why they're
writing?
taking
That's
him.
okay. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. All right. I honestly don't have any idea.
Here's the thing, like either this is going to be like a really clever misdirect where like he needs
Mm.
medicine, but actually he's kind of like a bad guy and he's going to do something messed up. You
Mm.
know, he's got him
Mm-hmm.
alone. Also, how did Adar escape? Also, how is he still alive? Like,
Well, I mean, Galadriel
well,
survived the volcano, so I
yeah,
guess
but she's like
Adar
a
would.
million years. Yeah, but she's like a million years old and an elf, and
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
there are many, 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 many like loose threads that aren't even things that I ever see any writers coming back to fix because
Yeah,
they're just so like, well, that happened.
don't think about it too hard.
Yeah, turn your brain off for that section.
Here's the thing, that's totally fine. Like some
Yeah.
people don't need to have big theories and big twists and turns.
Mm-mm.
But I'm almost wondering like this whole thing with Hallbrand, like we're running out of time. We need to either like make some discoveries soon
Mm-hmm.
because there's one episode left. So
Mm-hmm.
like are we gonna get a Stranger reveal, Sauron reveal, Hallbrand reveal, all in the last episode?
Yeah, I
Like
don't know.
I don't know either. And
I'm
maybe we just won't. I
Here's
mean,
my prediction. I'm not expecting much.
yeah, I'm not either. Like
Just based off of the writing that we've like this episode, I was kind of excited about this episode. But all it turned into was a really drawn out repositioning of our characters. And I mean, okay, cool, that's fine, but I didn't really feel like I got any of like the action, the adventure, the whatever that I was kind of expecting this
mhm.
close to the end of the season. Like this is your second to last episode and this feels more like a middle of the season episode when it comes to the amount of world building and exposition that we're given.
The series as a whole has some pacing issues where
Mhm.
I don't know, it might work a little bit better if it was something that you could binge watch, but
Mhm.
at the same time, I don't know. I would put it in the same category as Wheel of Time in some instances where
Mhm.
8 episodes is not a lot, despite how
Yeah.
much time you give per episode. It's an Amazon thing that I'm not a big fan of. But
Agreed. Agreed.
regardless,
Yeah.
we move to the dwarves. Durin feels like he's failed. Disa's giving him moral support.
Yep.
The king throws this linden leaf down into the hole and it awakes a fire monster. I don't know what he was doing down there. I guess they nap in the caves. But he was walled up in the mine. So, like, how. I mean, do they. I have questions. I don't know. I guess
I'm
reasons.
I'm with you.
He's a very sensitive fire monster. That little leaf like made a slight change in the wind down there, and he was like,
I'm awake. I'm awake.
"Ah!"
Who did
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
That is the guy you
right,
don't want to wake from his nap.
right. I mean, like the mining didn't wake him up. The
Right.
leaf did.
This little tiny wisp of a leaf coming through was what it took.
Butterfly flaps its wings
And a
in the
ball rock
cave,
awakes.
and the ball rocks awakes. Yeah, exactly.
Disa is so cute when she's like, "It's all your dad's fault. This is all your dad's fault. Man, your dad." Like,
Yeah.
everyone should have a wife like Disa.
Right?
Everyone.
I mean, she's the most supportive.
Right?
She's a bad ass dwarf. She's doesn't
Smart,
have, yeah,
observant.
yeah. She doesn't
Speaks her
have
mind.
time to like take any guff from
Nope.
anyone. She's talented and she's
Knows how
cute.
to forge. Right?
Yeah. She's a singer. She can make
Oh my
weapons.
gosh, yes!
What can she not do?
Disa, will you marry me?
Disa, our queen. Disa, our queen.
Yeah, and then the whole episode wraps up. Why did they do it like this? Why did
With
they do
Adar and Posse.
Yeah, and then they're like,
I liked it.
I liked all of it up until they were like the Southlands, and then they erased it and they wrote in Mordor, and I was like, guys,
I liked it.
come, no, mm-mm.
I liked it. I thought it was fine.
It bothered me. We knew it was. Why didn't they just say Mordor? Like, we knew it was the Southlands. Like, that's what
Yeah,
they'd
but
just
is
been chanting
Adar
about.
is Adar actually the one to name Mordor? Because like they can't have him say it if he's not the one who.
I think it's totally fine to have done the text. Like, that part I was fine with. I didn't like that they were like the Southlands and then they erased that part and then they put in Mordor instead. Like, we knew it was the Southlands. That's what everybody was just cheering and talking about. They're like, this can't be the Southlands anymore. It needs a new name. So what I was expecting was for them to be like, bum, 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 Mordor, and like just put it across the screen because we would know that. There's a volcano off in the distance. Everything is dark and fiery. Like, this is exactly what Mordor is supposed to look like. We knew it was the Southlands. So just say it's Mordor. Was I being
That's
too
what they
picky?
did. But they did say it was Mordor. I don't understand what part you didn't like.
I didn't like that they put the text for the Southlands up first. Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh, okay.
like they had to say that this land had once been the Southlands, and then they like digitally erased that text and then replace it with the text of Mordor. And I just felt that that was unnecessary because we knew what it was. I was like, just call it Mordor. Like, it actually kind of threw me off for it not to immediately say Mordor. Like I said, a little picky.
To me, it made total sense because, like, I didn't know that the Southlands are what becomes Mordor. Like, I had a feeling maybe when the volcano goes up, and at the same time, like, I don't know, like, where the Adar and Posse had gone to. Like,
Okay.
were they at the base of the volcano now? Have they moved? Have they shifted somewhere because they were scattered? Like, I don't know. It was probably just like they want to make sure that dum-dums like me aren't like, so where is Mordor? Why is Mordor? How is Mordor? Like,
you're not a dum-dum.
I don't know.
No,
but
that
good news,
that makes...
the orcs don't need sunscreen anymore. So
Yay. We can romp around in the day. What I want to know is, what about your human people? Like, if this land is dead and they have humans that are, like, also part of Adar's group, how are they going to survive this? Like, it's said over and over again, these lands are dead.
How is
anyone
going to survive that? Like, they have to eat.
Right. Maybe they have to, like, hunt outside. Like, maybe they have to, like, move past where the darkness would fall to get provisions. I don't know. This just does not feel well thought out, I guess. So many questions, Amber. I have so many questions.
Maybe the orcs just run amok and
amok.
Yeah. Amok.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're like living, what their lives look like outside of like pillaging and plundering.
Yeah. What do they need?
So like when they do have their home, like what are they doing there? Like, you know what I mean?
I have like a Leave It to Beaver image in my head, only everything is orcs.
Like a mama orc taking out a turkey out of the oven.
That's orc freedom for you.
Yeah. a little bit of
The orc dream.
yeah, living the orc dream.
I just
I don't know. Any predictions for the finale?
I no, I don't. And I honestly don't even really want to put a lot of effort into thinking of what it might be, which is not usually like me. Like usually,
You know
I'm like,
what I
yeah,
hope?
tell
I
me,
hope.
please.
I
I
hope
want to
that
know.
there's no Halbrand reveal,
Okay.
no Stranger reveal, and no
Okay.
Sauron reveal. That way, people online like their lives are gonna be like I don't know. I'm ready for like no one to be satisfied because
Ooh,
okay, so like was there confirmation somewhere that we were getting like reveals like that? Because I
I
keep
don't
seeing
know
like they better tell us who Sauron is and I'm like, "Wait,
why.
yeah, like was I supposed to be like was that something that was said that they're like we will get Sauron in season 1? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know
I
anything about that.
maybe we get 1 out of 3.
I'll make just one prediction.
Okay.
The druid culty people play a bigger role in the upcoming episode, the finale, than they have previously.
Wouldn't that be funny if it was like a huge misdirect and
Mm-hmm.
they were actually good guys?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting. Is like some kind of reveal around
Twist.
that. Yeah, yeah. That's the only prediction I'll make for. I will probably be wrong because I've been wrong, well, at least once or twice in my life.
You were right about
Um,
Berek the horse.
thanks. Weird Berek the horse.
We said, why does he matter? There's got to be a reason, right?
And now there's a
Did
reason.
we say that? Yeah, there's a reason.
Probably. We've definitely harped a bit on Berek the horse.
See? Amazon Prime Video, they were listening.
They were listening. I sometimes do think maybe they're like checking in on us every once in a while. I like to pretend that that's
Speaking of
happening.
listening,
Yes.
if you are listening and you like what you hear, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and thank you for
And
sticking
thank
with
you.
this season of Rings of Power with us. We only started covering it halfway up, but
Yeah,
it's been fun.
it has been fun.